Hello, everybody! Get ready for the third match of the Ultimate Cinematic Showdown, the Directors' Cup. We take 8 of the world's most celebrated filmmakers, enter them in the arena armed with each other's filmography of masterpieces. This tournament is a single elimination battle royale where only the best films survive. In each round, we'll pit 2 directors against each other, selecting one of their iconic movies for a head-to-head matchup. Through lively debate and careful analysis, we'll determine which film reigns supreme, sending the victorious director to the next round. But choose wisely, because you can only use a movie one time. With each director's filmography as their arsenal, strategy is key. Do you play your blockbuster hit early or save your critically acclaimed masterpiece for the final showdown? The Directors' Cup is a tournament where cinematic legacies are forged, and only one director will emerge with the coveted cup. Enjoy. Welcome, cinephiles, to a clash of cinematic styles. In one corner, we have the Coen brothers' darkly comedic crime masterpiece, Fargo, a film that chills and delights with its quirky characters and Midwestern charm. And in the other corner, Wes Anderson's Rushmore, a quirky, heartwarming coming-of-age story filled with visual flair and eccentric characters. Tonight, we'll delve into these 2 critically acclaimed films, dissecting their strengths and weaknesses across 4 engaging rounds. Round 1, be personal opinion and nostalgia. We'll explore the subjective experiences and nostalgic connections each film evokes, uncovering the personal reasons why these movies hold a special place in our hearts, as well as bringing up the best scene, best line, and musical score. Round 2, awards and critical acclaim. We'll examine the critical reception and accolades bestowed upon each film, weighing the opinions of experts and industry recognition. Round 3, that's the wildcard round. Prepare for a journey through fascinating trivia and behind-the-scenes revelations, uncovering gems and unexpected insights into the making of these cinematic gems, as well as a recasting by yours truly and Bern Goes. Round 4, the verdict. We'll ask our esteemed judge Gemini to weigh the evidence and declare a victor in this battle of cinematic styles. Get ready for a captivating and insightful showdown as we determine once and for all which film reigns supreme, Rushmore or Fargo. Enjoy the show. Daddy! All right, Bern, we got a big one tonight. Really excited for this. It's going to be a clash of styles. Styles make fights. This one's going to be a lot of fun. So just so everyone knows, me, your boy, Old Uncle Matty, I'll be handling the Coen brothers classic Fargo, and Bern will be taking over Wes Anderson's masterpiece Rushmore, and we'll be going head-to-head in a 4-round battle. But let's recap. Last week, we had the second match of the Directors' Cup, where we pitted the one and only Steven Spielberg against the up-and-comer J.J. Abrams. We took Jurassic Park from Spielberg, and we had Star Trek 2009 from J.J. Abrams, and as you would assume, Steven Spielberg kind of won every round and ran away with it. Even though it was a close fight, good show, available now on podcast platforms and YouTube at Works Perspectives Podcast, but really a lot of fun. Had a lot of fun with last week's one, but we're moving on. We are now into the third match of the first round of the first ever Directors' Cup. I'm excited. Bern, are you ready?
Can't wait, baby. Can't wait. We each got one through with Ridley Scott and Steven Spielberg.
Yep.
Can't wait to see who these next couple competitors are going to be.
Me too, my man. Me too. But before we do that, do you know what we have to do?
The tale of the tape.
You got it. It's now time for the tale of the tape. Okay, let's get these 2 cinematic contenders in the ring for a head-to-head comparison. Here's the tale of the tape for Fargo and Rushmore. First up, release date. Fargo's release date, March 8th, 1996. Rushmore's release date, December 11th, 1998. Then the runtime. Runtime for Fargo, 1 hour, 38 minutes. Runtime for Rushmore, 1 hour, 33 minutes. So they got that, over an hour and a half, under 2 hours, kind of comedy style, even
Sweet
though
spot.
these are two different types of comedies, you know? The film budget, Fargo film budget in 1996, $7 million. Rushmore film budget in 1998, $9 million. Man, these guys really pretty comparable thus far. Opening weekend box office for Fargo, we got $1.9 million, limited release. And then Rushmore opening weekend box office was 248,084, limited release also. And it was more, Rushmore was really kind of considered an indie film at this point. Wouldn't you agree, Bern?
I would agree for sure.
Yeah. Then the worldwide box office gross for Fargo, became like a cult, like a pretty big hit. Ended up making 60 million at the box office, which means with the initial $7 million budget recouped, it made 60 million in the worldwide box office gross. The $9 million budget for Rushmore, which I'm assuming mostly went to Bill Murray, made 17.1 million. So also, almost doubled its money. So it did pretty well. Then for estimated DVD VHS sales, remember this is the late 90s, so DVD VHS really hot at this time.
Hot.
So we're looking for Fargo, 50 million. I know I had a copy of Fargo on DVD. 50 million for Fargo. Rushmore, we're looking at 20 million in DVD VHS sales. So they really did well with these. I know I had a copy of both of these movies on DVD. And then the studios for Fargo, Polygram Film Entertainment Working Title Films was the studio. And then for Rushmore, Touchstone Pictures.
Fairly comparable. I mean, Fargo definitely made some more money. It definitely, I think, appealed to a broader crowd. But both pretty respectable in their own ways, especially when considered that there wasn't much release and there wasn't much publicity.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how Fargo, despite its darker subject matter, significantly outperformed Rushmore at the box office. This could be attributed to like various factors, including strong word of mouth, critical acclaim, and the Coen brothers' established reputation. Both films, however, have become cult classics and have dedicated fan bases, so they both made their money back. But Bern, that was the tale of the tape. Are you ready to move on to round one?
Sure.
All right, well, round one, fight! Okay, it's now time for round one, nostalgia and personal opinion. In this round, Bern and I will each have 3 minutes to give you the rundown on what we think of this film. In the rundown, we have to mention what we think is the best scene, what we think is the best line, and the musical score. Bern, would you like to go first or second?
Well, I'll go first.
All right, take it away, Benoit Pahoud.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about Rushmore today, the second feature film from director Wes Anderson, written by Wes Anderson and Owen Wilson, scored by Mark Mothersbaugh of Devo fame, and the rest of the soundtrack is filled out with a lot of early 1960s British invasion pop music, a lot of smaller songs from smaller bands at the time who would go on to become huge. We're talking Donovan, the Kinks, the Rolling Stones, Cat Stevens, the Who, Faces. It's got a really interesting musical style with Mothersbaugh's modern pop influences, but a really kind of chill undertone of this British pop invasion. It is so hard for me to pick the best line from this film. I'm constantly struggling with what's the best line versus what's my favorite line. So I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to give you a couple line pairings with scenes, right? I'm not sure what my favorite scene is. I'm not sure what my favorite line is. I'm going to give you combos of two, okay? So here we go. Bill Murray standing in an elevator. He's pouring vodka into his Diet Coke and smoking 2 cigarettes at the same time. When Max says, "Hey, are you all right?" Bill Murray says, "Well, I guess I'm a little bit lonely these days." That's a hilarious line. I like when Dirk spits on Bill Murray's car. It says, "With friends like you, who needs friends?" That's a hilarious line. But I think the real killer for me is and will always be "I saved Latin. What did you ever do?" It totally encompasses Max's whole philosophy. His entire heart and soul goes into whatever he's doing at the moment and whoever he's doing it for. My runner-up to that line is, "Were you in the shit?" Yeah, I was in the shit. It's really tough. It's really tough. There's a lot of small scenes. They're all vignettes, and the lines don't make sense without the scenes. The scenes don't make sense without the lines. So I'm cheating a little bit here, but I just gave you a couple little pieces of what got me the most in Rushmore. And we didn't even touch on, I like your nurse's uniform, guy. They're OR scripts. Oh, are they? Because
Line of the movie.
the best part of that scene is that they cut to Bill Murray and he is laughing so hard he's actually choking on his whiskey. Absolute killer for me. Incredible scenes, incredible lines. That's what I got for my round one.
All right, Bern, that was a great round one, but I'm here to stomp on you. So here we go. All right, Bern, Fargo. It's not only a movie, it spawned a 5 seasons of a TV show that is absolutely phenomenal. But while Fargo is filled with memorable moments and great times, there's a couple of scenes that stand out. One of the scenes that stands out to me is the wood chipper scene. It's one of the most iconic and darkly comedic scenes in cinematic history, some would say. The sheer absurdity of the situation as Steve Buscemi's character, Carl Showalter, attempts to dispose of a body in a wood chipper amidst snowy Minnesota landscape is both shocking and hilarious. The Coen brothers massively blend this tension and dark humor, creating a scene that is both unforgettable and deeply unsettling. And then who could forget Marge Gunderson's iconic line? And I guess that was your accomplice in the wood chipper. Frances McDermott's delivery of this line captures Marge's folksy charm and unwavering determination in the face of absurdity. Of course, no discussion of Fargo is complete without mentioning Carter Burnwell's haunting and evocative score, we'll say. The music perfectly complements the film's unique blend of dark humor, suspense, and Midwestern charm. The simple yet effective melodies create an atmosphere of both beauty and unease, drawing a view deeper into the film's world. Burnwell's score is an essential element of Fargo's cinematic tapestry, adding another layer of depth and complexity to the already brilliant film. I'll tell you, man, this movie, I remember when this came out, I was a young guy and I watched this, and it really, the best thing about it is everyone in this is someone they're so rare for me at that age when I started watching movies to find a movie of oh, I know that cop. Oh, I know that store guy. Oh, I know that dick that owns that store. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of things I recognize about the people in this, and I know it's based in a Midwestern setting and we're in PA, but still some of the people are the same and maybe not as nice because people around here aren't nice. But honestly, fell in love with this movie, fell in love where you find the laughter, and really, really, really enjoyed it. Really this is kind of what set me to the Coen brothers, and I've loved them ever since. So drop my nuts on you there, Bern. That's my time. And I guess that's your accomplice in the wood chipper.
All right, good round, Maddie.
So another good first round, Bern. But let's keep it moving. We're gonna head to round two. Round two. Fight. We're in round two, awards and critical acclaim. Got a lot of fun stuff here. Fargo kind of emerges as the clear victor in this round. Fargo nominated for 7 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, Best Director. It won 2 Oscars for Best Original Screenplay and Best Actress for Frances McDermott. It was praised for its unique tone, sharp writing, and memorable performances. Rushmore received critical acclaim but did not receive any Academy Award nominations. It was praised for its quirky humor, visual style, and Bill Murray's performance. Fargo's critical acclaim and Oscar win solidified its position as a landmark film, while Rushmore, though well regarded, did not achieve the same level of recognition. So, but even though Rushmore, I think coming now that people know Wes Anderson more and he's been able to express himself through film better, I think people have come to realize oh, this is just Wes Anderson at its best.
Anderson's still kind of finding his style here. But I will note that this movie Rushmore was originally supposed to be released in February of 1999. They bumped it up to December because they thought there was a real potential for Bill Murray getting a nod for Best Supporting Actor from the Oscars here. So they actually moved the movie up about 2.5 months, because after watching it, they saw his performance and were like, he actually might have a shot at an Oscar here. Let's get this movie out before the end of the year.
I do want to talk about this. So, Bern, I'm going to go over the Best Picture nominees and from this year, and as well as a list of the best films from this year. The movie Fargo came out in 1996, which means that it was part of the 69th Academy Awards. 69. The movies nominated, the movies nominated for Best Picture that year, we had Shine, which I've never seen, Secrets and Lies, which I've never seen, then Jerry Maguire, which, damn, we're gonna have to put Cameron Crowe in the Directors Cup eventually too.
Mm-hmm.
And then Fargo, and then the winner, which fucking I do not understand, was The English Patient, which I don't think anyone's ever seen. This is one of those ones where if you do the 5 years later, I mean, Fargo and Jerry Maguire,
no
Fargo
chance.
and Jerry Maguire will still be there, but I don't know if the other guys will. And this was also before it was 10 nominees, it was still 5. Then I want to give you the list of the best movies of 96. Fargo came out in 96. The other best movies that came out this year, we have From Dusk Till Dawn, Jerry Maguire, Train Spotting, The First Mission Impossible, Twister, Independence Day, Primal Fear, Scream, A Time to Kill, The Rock, Sleepers, and then this is a sleeper great movie, Mars Attacks, Courage Under Fire, The Nutty Professor, Broken Arrow, Sling Blade, Swingers, Ransom, Lone Star, The People vs. Larry Flint, Crash, and I'm not going to say The English Patient because that movie fucking sucked. But either way, 96 was a pretty good year at the box office. Some pretty good movies came out that year, and I would have to say Fargo was the best one out of all of them. Even though Jerry Maguire is really good, Dusk Till Dawn is fantastic. The First Mission Impossible was like game changer. You know what I mean? Independence Day, obviously Pulaski's favorite movie of all time. You know, and
Correct.
like even A Time to Kill, great movie. And you had guys like McConaughey showing up out of nowhere, and then dude, The Rock, right? Michael Bay, that's another guy we got to put in the cup.
It's funny, Maddie, because I find the same kind of thing happened in 1998 for the 71st Academy Awards. Nominated for Best Picture this year, winning Best Picture, Shakespeare in Love. Obviously, what a historical film. Elizabeth, Life is Beautiful, The Thin Red Line, Saving Private Ryan. That's the banger.
Goodness.
Now, it's a weird year because Shakespeare in Love wins Best Picture, but Steven Spielberg wins Best Director for Saving Private Ryan. But Roberto Benigni wins Best Actor for Life is Beautiful. But James Coburn wins Best Supporting Actor for Affliction. So there was no real clear consensus that something was, super dominant that year. Here are some other movies that came out that year, though, which are, I think there are a number of movies that are way better than the ones that were nominated. We said Saving Private Ryan, Truman Show, The Big Lebowski, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, There's Something About Mary, Funny Games, Rushmore, as we mentioned, What Dreams May Come, Insomnia, Rounders, Ants, and A Bug's Life. Tough year for the animated Ant. They really paired those guys up against each other. Enemy of the State, Primary Colors, Apt Pupil, Armageddon, Ronin, Permanent Midnight, which probably not a lot of people have seen, which is a good movie. The Negotiator, Snake Eyes, and American History X. So I think the crop of movies was pretty good. It's just what ended up floating to the top. Elizabeth, Life is Beautiful, Shakespeare in Love. Kind of a swing and a miss there for the Academy, if you ask me, for the old 71st.
Well, Bern, really, really enjoyed that. Really good stuff. But let's keep it on moving down the road. So that was the end of round 2, awards and critical acclaim. We're going to head to round 3. Round 3, fight! All right, Bern, we're going to kick off the wild card round. In this round, we're going to go back to back, blow for blow, sparring a little bit with some trivia. And then we're going to do everyone's favorite new thing, the recasting, which is Just the best. All right, Bern, here we go.
I'm gonna hit you with one that's not really mind blowing, something you probably know, but it is sneaky, really fun. Owen Wilson and Wes Anderson met at the University of Texas. They wrote the screenplay for Rushmore their freshman year before a junior year project. Short film they made ended up becoming Bottle Rocket. They got
Huh.
some money. They made Bottle Rocket first. All three Wilson brothers appear in this film. Luke Wilson appears as the O.R. Scrubs guy, most famously. Peter, Dog, what's his name? He goes by a lot of different names. Andrew Wilson, the eldest Wilson brother, appears as the baseball coach, who's very upset that they're about to chew up his field for an aquarium that ends up getting Max expelled from school. And Owen Wilson appears in pictures in Rosemary's room as her dead husband, Edward Appleby.
That's a nice little fact, but this one's going to smack you in the math. So you know that famous Paul Bunyan statue? That statue was it wasn't there originally. It was built for the movie. Yep. Minnesota loves itself some Paul Bunyan iconography. The tall tale of folk legend is big in the Midwest. There's a 24-foot statue of Bunyan in the movie, but it was not something that they just found. The statue of the giant lumberjack was built for the movie and has since been taken down.
Oh, all right. Well, that seems silly, but this is the first theatrical appearance and acting job of any kind for Jason Schwartzman. Wilson and Anderson traveled around the country, auditioning over 1,800 actors and non actors for the role of Max Fisher. They actually extensively traveled through boarding schools in Connecticut, Vermont, and New Hampshire looking for just regular guys who might be able to get the role. On the very last day of casting in Los Angeles, they took an audition from a young Jason Schwartzman who showed up to the audition wearing a blazer and a Rushmore patch that he had made himself emblazoned on the blazer pocket. They knew they found their guy, and he was cast after 1,800 other actors auditioned.
Wow. 1800?
1,800 total people they had auditioned for the role over the course of a year.
Wow. Damn. Well, that's pretty big, but how about this, Bern? Did you know Fargo debuted in a prestigious place? That's right. Fargo was screened for the public for the first time at the famed Cannes Film Festival. It was nominated for the Palme d'Or, the festival's equivalent to Best Picture. It didn't win. However, Joel did take home the Best Director award. Due to the vagaries of Hollywood, while the Coens work together, Joel tends to get credited as director, while Ethan is credited as producer. So there you go.
All right, that's an interesting one. We'll stick with Schwartzman for a minute here because there's some interesting scenes in this movie that are homages to other movies. There's a scene where he asks Margaret Yang to take off her glasses to see what her face looks like and then casts her in his play. I think the first time we saw the take your glasses off, let me see how pretty you really are is probably Rocky, right? Probably Stallone and Talia
Yeah.
Shire. I didn't know this for a very long time because Francis Ford Coppola, his uncle, and Talia Shire is Jason Schwartzman's mom. I
Yep.
didn't know that forever.
Yeah.
Forever. Apparently, he went out of his way not to associate himself at all with his famous family when auditioning for this. And it was almost 4 months into production before Wilson and Anderson found out that he had this kind of famous Hollywood lineage. So good for Schwartzman.
Well, Bern, that was all right, but how about this for smack? There was an original failed TV pilot. That's right. In the wake of Fargo Fever, a pilot was commissioned based on the movie. The Coens were not involved, but the action was designed to focus on Marge Gunderson in the wake of the events of the movie. McDermott did not return to the role, with the future Carmela soprano Edie Falco cast in the role instead. However, the show did not make it past the pilot stage. So how about that? There was a Fargo show to take place that was based around Marge Gunderson that like kind of came out right after the movie, and fucking Carmela Soprano was supposed to play Marge Gunderson, and then the pilot fell through. How about that?
I got one more for you, Maddie, and it refutes something you mentioned earlier. You mentioned the budget of $9 million, where you said most of that probably went to Bill Murray.
Yeah.
Bill Murray
Talk to me.
read the script and liked it so much that he petitioned to do the movie for free. Since he was a member of the Screen Actors Guild, he technically was not allowed to do that. So he worked for a day player scale and cleared about $9,000 in salary for making the film. There was a helicopter scene originally in the script that Touchstone Pictures, who is a subsidiary of Disney, said, "We're not paying for your helicopter scene." Wes Anderson was looking for $75,000 to put a helicopter in the movie. Bill Murray wrote him a blank check and handed it to him and said, "Get done whatever you need to get done." Eventually, Anderson decided not to shoot the scene, ripped up the check. But Bill Murray wanted to be in this movie so bad, he offered to do it for free and pay $75,000 for a helicopter scene. There are reports during this movie that there were things that would break down. They had a little bit of a weather issue. At one point, Bill Murray was carrying lights, rigs, and sandbags around. Anderson said that when he cast him, he was terrified of the man, but the fact that Murray cared so much about the movie made the cast and the crew and everyone involved feel like they knew they were making something excellent. People have a lot of different opinions of Bill Murray, but he put his goddamn heart and soul into this one, and it showed, and he was
Totally.
And just a little half Murray fact. Apparently, he was so annoyed by the twins who played his son in the movie. Most of their interactions are ad-libbed of him just being irritated by those two kids, which I think is exceptional.
Okay, so Fargo fact, here we go. The movie does have one casting connection to the TV show. So, Bruce Campbell is a cult actor, mostly due to his role as Ash in the Evil Dead universe. He's also a favorite actor of the Coen brothers. In Fargo, he has a small uncredited role as Ronald Reagan. Later, in the second season of the TV show Fargo, Campbell returns to play Ronald Reagan again, this time in a more prominent appearance. But how cool is
That's
that?
awesome. That's awesome. I forgot he played Ronald Reagan in the movie. I remember watching the show and being like, "Oh, Bruce Campbell, love him."
All right, Bern. Well, that was a nice little slobber knocker to start off round 3, but now it's time to get into the meat of round 3. Everyone's favorite part. We are recasting the films. Would you like to go first or second?
I went first before. I'll stick with first for this one. We'll keep going back and forth.
So just so we explain it to everybody, we are going to be recasting each other's films. So Bern will be recasting Fargo, and I will be recasting Rushmore. Go ahead, Bern. Take it away, Danny.
Obviously, this doesn't work at all unless we find someone who can really nail both William H. Macy's character and Frances McDormand's character. So that's where I started. I figured I had to have those two absolutely perfect. So William H. Macy's Jerry Lundegaard. Jerry, I knocked around a lot. I started with Bateman, but I thought, I don't know. I don't think Bateman can be dumb enough to play Jerry. He just always seems a little too smart. I went back and forth on a couple of guys. He'd need to maybe not take his shirt off because I don't picture Jerry as a ripped guy, but I'm going to go with Jake Gyllenhaal. I think Jake Gyllenhaal can really capture that kind of like charming, kind of goofy, a little bit aloof, maybe not that bright guy with an idea. He's going to have to dial the intensity down a bit, but I feel like he's got a Midwestern look, and I think he could nail the accent. So I'm going to go Jake Gyllenhaal for Jerry Lundegaard, William H. Macy's character.
Okay.
Frances McDormand, Oscar-winning performance.
Yeah.
As Marge Gunderson.
Yeah.
We got to find someone who has that kind of gravitas. My first thought was Kristen Bell, but then I was like, I think it's just because she's blonde. I'm going Amy Adams. I think Amy Adams would do a really nice job of handling like the accent, the seriousness. She's got a little comedy, a little glint in her eye, and she kind of means business when she means business. So I'm going to go Amy Adams for Frances McDormand. Marge Gunderson. I would maybe make Kristen Bell Mrs. Lundegaard, the wife who gets kidnapped. She can play that. We can throw that to her because I do like her in that as well. Yeah. Now we have two absolute freaking psychopaths, right? Okay. We have Steve Buscemi and Peter Stormare.
Okay.
I borrowed a little bit from Fargo. I believe it was season 2 or 3. We've seen him as a period piece kind of scumbag. I'm going Kieran Culkin in
Ah,
the Buscemi role of Carl Showalter.
love that.
I think Kieran Culkin's a little on edge, can be a bit of a chatterbox, similar hair, similar build. I think he pulls that role off really well. And as the strong, silent, absolute dead-eyed psycho, gay or Grimsrod, I'm going with our boy Ben Foster.
Oh,
I So we're gonna go Kieran Culkin and Ben Foster as the
excellent choice.
psycho hitmen. And then just for fun, because one of my favorite characters is Wade Gustafson. This is Jerry Lundegaard's father-in-law, the one they're trying to blackmail. Well, not blackmail, the one they're trying to trick into paying the ransom for his daughter. The
Yeah.
look on his face when he gets shot is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. He makes this incredible like face. And I am going to have him pull from some of his earlier TV days. I'm going to cast Bryan Cranston
Oh,
as Wade Gustafson, the no
great.
nonsense owner of the business, Jerry's boss. He's going to go out there. He's going to take that money. He's going to get it back himself, and he's going to die in the goddamn snow with a hilarious look on his face. I'm going Bryan Cranston.
Bern, great recasting. Great recasting. Are
Thank
you
you, Manny.
ready to get some nuts on your chin?
Good luck, buddy.
I'm recasting Rushmore, as we know. And the five characters I'll be recasting. I'll be recasting Max Fisher, played by Jason Schwartzman. I'll be recasting Herman Bloom, played by Bill Murray. I'll be recasting Rosemary Cross, played by Olivia Williams. I'll be recasting Bert Fisher, played by Seymour Castle. And I'll be recasting Dr. Nelson Guggenheim, played by Brian Cox. So for Brian Cox to replace him, I have two options in mind, and I want your opinion on this, Bern, if you're okay to help
Sure.
me. Two I have picked. I have Colin Firth and I have Christoph Waltz.
Oh, I think just for the scene where he mocks him when Max goes, "What's that supposed to mean?" And Brian Cox goes, "What's that supposed to mean?" I think it's got to be Christoph Waltz. I think that would be
Yeah,
hilarious.
yeah. Plus, he can keep the German accent, which adds a bit of authority. But
A
you'd
little
love to
authority
see
is
like a
cool.
little cheeky German accent, you know?
Okay, that's a good call. Waltz is a good call.
Yeah. So we're gonna go Christoph Waltz to replace Brian Cox. Then for the dad, paid by Seymour Castle, I'm gonna put in a young but virile Kenneth Branagh.
Okay, all right, Kenneth Branagh.
Okay, now we got some heavy hitters, Daddy. Are you
Mhm.
ready?
I'm ready.
So to replace Jason Schwartzman, I'm gonna have Gatton Matarazzo. Do you know who that is?
I was wondering which one of the Stranger Things kids you were going with, and all right. I don't.
Did you really think I was gonna go with the Stranger Things kid?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Fuck.
I thought they were all options, but
They were.
Gatton might have been my. I didn't see him coming.
I honestly I thought Finn like for the look, but you need someone who's fully committed to the seriousness of the role,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
he fully believes in what he's doing, and I don't think Finn could pull it off as well as Gatton.
Finn's a little aloof. I
Yeah,
think you're right. Gatton's more sincere. Okay, I
yeah,
like it. I mean, I like it.
yeah.
I think he brings a whole different energy to Max, but I don't think that's a bad thing.
And then to replace Olivia Williams, I mean, there's only one option for this burn. She's your mother of dragons and mine, the one and only Amelia Clark.
Wow.
It's the only option.
I'm not going to sit here and tell you that's a bad choice. It's not a bad choice. Amelia Clark is perfect.
Right? You have to go British, you have to go beautiful, but also like Olivia Williams, she's beautiful, but she's also like sweet, you know?
And
Like she
also,
needs to be sweet.
oh, and I was thinking earlier, I was thinking like an Emily Blunt, but she's got to be younger. She's got to be someone
Yes.
who just lost her
Agreed.
young husband and doesn't
And
have
she's
like,
got to be
so
softer. Emily Blunt's like I think a little too firm. Like a
I
little
agree.
too like she's got to be softer. Amelia Clark's got that gentle look.
I think she's the
Uh
right age, especially as a brunette.
yeah. And then I don't get Emily Blunt cross my mind, but it's Amelia Clark. And then to replace Bill Murray, This one, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it, but I do kind of like it, and I think they can pull it off, and I'd love to see them try. I put Woody Harrelson, Bern. Woody Harrelson.
Matt, that's an inspired choice. That is outside the box. That is not, I mean, but if you're trying to recast Bill Murray,
How do you do it?
of course it's going to be outside the box. It's going to be,
Yeah.
you're trying to do something insane that has never been done
You,
before.
yeah. You can't go the same
Wow.
direction because only Murray can do Murray, right?
Right.
You
Yeah.
have to go the completely different direction. But like Woody Harrelson, who like, because Bill Murray's humor in this one, it was kind of like a go fuck yourself humor. And
Yeah.
Harrelson could nail a go fuck yourself humor
He's the
in
right
his own
age.
way.
He's the right
And he's
age.
the right age, and he can play like a war-torn veteran, things like that. So I'm really happy with this list. So to recap mine, so recasting Brian Cox's character as Dr. Nelson Guggenheim, I'm going to be putting in Christoph Waltz. Then to be recasting Seymour Castle's character, Bert Fisher, I'm going to put in Kenneth Branagh. And then to recast Jason Schwartzman's character is Max Fisher. I'm going to be putting Gatton Matarazzo, and then recasting Olivia Williams' character Rosemary Cross. I'm putting the incredible, the beautiful, the one and only Amelia Clark. And then recasting Bill Murray's character Herman Bloom. I'm putting Woody Harrelson. And that's my nuts on
Wow.
your chin. And that's my
I love
nuts
it.
on your chin. Well, that was round 3. Are you ready to go to round 4?
It's time.
Round 4. Fight! All right, Bern, we're in the championship round here. In this round, we'll be consulting our AI overlord, Gemini, and they will give us the winner and who will be moving on to the next round of the Director's Cup. Are you ready?
I am ready to rock.
Okay, so I asked Gemini, I said, hello, Gemini. Can you please tell me what movie you think is better, Fargo or Rushmore? And here's what they said. They said, this is a tough one, like choosing between a delicious hot dish and a perfectly crafted miniature. God, both Fargo and Rushmore are exceptional films with distinct styles and strengths. However, if I must choose a favorite, I'd have to go with Fargo. And here's why. Unique tone and atmosphere. Fargo masterfully blends dark humor, suspense, Midwestern charm to create a truly unique cinematic experience. The film's snowy landscapes, quirky characters, and shocking violence create an atmosphere that is both captivating and unsettling, as well as, they say, compelling characters. From Marge Gunderson's folksy wisdoms to Jerry Lundegaard's bumbling desperation, Fargo is filled with memorable and well-developed characters. The Coen brothers have a knack for creating characters that are both familiar and eccentric, making them both relatable and fascinating. Very true. We said that both films were full of relatable characters. And then Enduring Legacy. Fargo has become a cultural touchstone, inspiring a television series and countless references in pop culture. Its iconic scenes, quotable lines, and unforgettable characters have cemented its place as a true cinematic masterpiece. Then it says, while Rushmore is charming and visually stylish film, Fargo's unique blend of genres, compelling characters, and lasting impact give it the edge in this cinematic showdown. It's a film that stays with you long after the credits roll, leaving you pondering its enigmatic characters and the unpredictable nature of life. So grab your parka and prepare to be captivated by the chilling brilliance of Fargo. Daddy. Damn. So there we go. So the Coen brothers move on. This semifinals is going to be wild. Wild, dude. And then next week we got David O. Russell versus Christopher Nolan. Jeez, oh
Yep.
Pete.
I hate to see Wes go. He's one of my personal favorites. But once I found out he was going up against the Coen brothers, the only choice was Rushmore. I figured if he was going to go out this round, he was going to go out on a shield. And I feel we did that. And I can't sit here and tell you that I don't think Fargo is a masterpiece because I'm positive that it is. And it is one of the weirdly most hilarious movies. That scene at the end when the cops are knocking on the door and Bill Macy's going, hold on then. Okay, wait a minute. hold on one second then. And then they bust in. He's trying to climb out the window is one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my entire life.
Amen to that,
So,
Maddie.
good battle.
Amen to
Good battle.
that. Yeah, really good battle. The third match out of 4 in the first round. So we have one of our brackets set for the semifinal. We won't tell you which one, but we're really super excited about this. This is really a great matchup. So, Bern, speaking of great matchups, this has been another episode of the Working Perspectives podcast presents Ask AI. In case you're wondering, you can find all our stuff and all our content and all podcast platforms and YouTube at Working Perspectives Podcast. Handle us on Instagram at Working Perspectives Podcast. Join us on Twitter and TikTok at WorkingPPod. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, please email us at workingperspectives@gmail.com. And please like and subscribe. And we'll keep bringing you this incredible stuff. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure you please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And then let us know who you want to see battle it out. And get ready to check out the next round of the Directors Cup. We love you. Thanks. See ya.